Mary Jo Bridge Palmer, and Sam Bridge is my dad, and we started this business 80 years ago. So this year, the whole year, we've been celebrating our 80th year. My topic today is winter preparations, and I'm also kind of gear where we can throw in a few bulbs in our fall planting. Most important thing about winter preparation is what should you cut back and what shouldn't you cut back. My number one question I get is always the hydrangea question. And it is, if it's a blue one or a pink one, you cut it back in the summer if it's gotten too large in your garden. At this time of the year, you're only going to deadhead the old flower buds, unless you want to leave them on like I do, because I kind of like that pink color that gives you a little bit of color in my shady corners right now. And the rest of it, if you need to, if it's a white one that flowers in the spring, you can cut it spring or fall and it will still flower. If it's the late fall one, like a lot of type, they will flower either wood, you can cut it in spring or fall. Roses also fit in this kind of shrub category that you do some trimming in the fall. If they've gotten very large and tall, all you have to do is cut about a third of the height in the fall, just to keep them under control so you're not getting whipped around with the wind. In the spring is when you do your hard cutting back. Coming down into the perennial garden, I usually don't have personal time in the spring, so in the fall I like to do as much of the cleanup that I can, and that usually means cutting things down that normally maybe in the spring I might just break off, such as hostas. I mean, why am I cutting my hostas down unless they look very ugly? Best just wait till they've had a hard frost, they break right up. But at this time of year, they're getting a little holy, and they're maybe not ready to go totally dark. We haven't had a frost yet. So what I'll do is I'll cut them back severe, just like this, and that means they'll be ready to go in the spring. If I had cut them a little bit earlier, we would have had extra little bit of foliage that would get missed through the fall. Iris, I cut down pretty much once the leaves start to get yellow and kind of yucky, cut them down to about 4 to 6 inches. And that kind of, again, cleans up the foliage. This is when you would check to see if you have mushy tubers. When you've got iris, look to make sure that your tubers are slightly raised on the surface so that they don't rot in the winter time.
When did you say you did that?
Anytime now. So anytime in the month of September through October.
You do iris blooming.
Yes, you have the one that does the pre-bloom.
Yeah.
That's fabulous when it does that. Some of them do, some of them don't. So you have to kind of wait and see. I usually wait until October. If you have Siberian iris, the best to cut the foliage, because if you don't, it leaves a place where the voles and the mice can make nests through the winter, and then they get in and they start eating the rest of your perennial plants. So you want to discourage that. I have quite a few plants that are really looking quite good in my garden right now, so there's no need to really cut them back. But sometimes the echinaceas really get a little bit ratty also, so I'll cut the flower stems, or I'll do like this, which we've done here already, just cut them all off. And they will also, between now and Thanksgiving, put out a few more leaves and sometimes a few more flowers. But otherwise, just cut them back and they're done. I have a lot of plants that have gotten overgrown. So this time of the year, although it's getting a little bit late, you still have a little bit of time. You need to move or divide things. If they tell you that they're ready when you've got a center, all of a sudden you've got an empty center on your iris or things like that, it's time to split it in half, or at least move it and make it a little bit bigger. 2 ways to do it. Take a shovel, just cut the clump in half and take half away and leave the other clump undisturbed. That actually works really well. The other way is dig up the whole clump and just pull it apart, or see where the bigger tubers are if you're doing your German iris, and that will also give you the bigger ones or the best ones that are going to flower the next year. Important to replant all of these things that you're redoing the exact same level that they were planted in or growing in. If you're doing a container, when you're planting them in the garden, soil level should be equal to what they are growing at. Do not bury the necks of any of your perennials. There are a few exceptions, but I won't do that. At this point, a lot of your late flowering chrysanthemums, when they're finished blooming, it's okay to, even though they're still green, cut them again right down to the core. You have also Montauk daisies, which are flowering late. They actually are evergreen here, so you're better off to leave them until spring. The general rule is if it flowers in the fall, you prune them in the spring, cut them down hard in the spring. Flowers in the spring, you do all your heavy pruning in the fall. And the same thing would be as to when to divide and move them around. good frost, and they come in cannas, any of the bulbs that are not winter hardy here, gladiolas, and we've had a frost, then I bring them into the garage. I will let them dry out, cut off the tops, and then they go into their storage. Couple things I've had very good luck with other than peat moss is doing them in packing peanuts in a cardboard box with a lid.
What?
Packing, styrofoam packing peanuts.
Styrofoam packing.
Yeah, you know the
Those little
packing
white-
peanuts, those white things that get all over when you get a package?
Oh, yeah, okay, those.
That I've had the best luck as opposed to peat moss. With the peat moss, I find they either get too wet or too dry. With the packing peanuts, I can put a layer in, I put a few dahlia tubers in one layer, cover them all up, put another layer in, cover the box, and it goes into a basement where it's about 45 to 50.
Okay, and you dig them up and
Let them dry.
either wash off the dirt.
Well, I shake it off, I don't usually wash. If you wash them, it's okay, make sure they're well dried several days before you pack them.
Okay, and you dig them up after the first frost.
After a good frost, yes. Yes, mine are still nice and green, I still have flowers on
I
them.
have lots of them now. And daylilies.
Yeah, but daylilies you just cut off like you would a hosta.